Thank you and welcome everybody. I thought this was a beautiful photo that represents our whole environment and some of our animals as well, as you can't do with the animals without the background environment from the ground up and with all you people in it. So it's all of us. I've got the microphone on today, but just to let you know that also there are people who have these tags. I'm not going to be wearing mine because it interferes with this microphone thing. So if you need help, we've got green wristbands or those for those that didn't went in here yesterday. So today's theme is emergency response and disaster preparedness for wildlife. That includes us. So as we begin our conference, I would like to include a few words from a gentleman that you probably all know, who's well known and respected. Okay, so his name is, yeah, David Suzuki. So he is a very well respected and well known person for all areas. Okay, hang on. There we are. So he's a grandfather, an activist, scientist, an emeritus professor of genetics at the University of British Columbia. So through radio, television, as a former host of CBC's The Nature of Things and 56 books, he has communicated humanity's collective impact on the natural world, an impact that now threatens the future of human life. He is a companion of the Order of Canada and has received over 30 honorary degrees from University of Canada, United States and Australia. He actually has been over here, and I know there's a few of you who have already been to some of his lectures and talks and read his books. We claim we are intelligent, then why are we in such a mess? What can we learn from COVID-19, and where do we go now? The COVID-19 crisis has two enormous and related consequences. It brought much of human activity to a halt, and it's given nature a respite, both an opportunity to reset society's priorities and head the different directions. So we've got a lot of things happening there. What we can do ourselves to impact our changes for the future as well as the environment. So David wishes us all the best and his team. He couldn't be with us today because he's got a well-earned summer holiday, and my holiday coincided before his holiday. So caring for yourselves includes your holidays and your breaks, as well as your hard work and your other 6 other lives that you contribute to looking after wildlife. So it's not just about the wildlife. If you don't look after everything else, you can't look after the wildlife. And you need to be prepared for all those. So emergencies are really highly stressful, and you need to recall everything that you can and use your energies for those purposes. So we have another little special thing for you today. Emergencies are quite distressing for all sorts of things, but there's also the distress of losing people that we know, that we've loved, we've worked with. And for this year, in one of our memorial things, we're actually going to do a Dr. Jim Pollock inaugural Inspirational People's Choice Award. So this will be something that towards the end of the conference, you will be given a digital voting choice. So think about all the talks that we've had over the weekend that you can use as an inspiration for you, and this award will go to that person and their presentation. So for a brief background to introduce Jim, to those of you who don't know about him, Jim wore many hats in his life. Family was important and he enjoyed many hobbies. He was a very capable, practical and innovative person who encouraged education and learning through experience, as well as working with and involvement with communities. From jackaroo to vet, jack of all trades in between. He worked with the Queensland Department of Primary Industries while studying to become a vet. In the early days at Burke, he proceeded to build a vet practice at Burke in a 2-room shed with a concrete floor, where he built a stainless steel surgical table, and moved to Bowen, where he began his own vet practice under his house while still working as an inspector at the local meatworks. He started rural clinics at Proserpine and Collinsville, where he spent a day a week providing vet services to the community. So that was travelling out to those communities to provide it. After moving to Townsville, along with his wife Eleanor, they established a new hospital in Townsville, which became the 23rd accredited hospital in Australia, the first in North Queensland and the first outside the metropolitan area. Jim was also an author of several papers and came up with medical regimes that would help with diseases he found in possums and other wild animals. A well-respected man, Jim lived his life to the fullest. He was involved with conferences from the beginning and was a great inspiration to many who attended. So in recognition of his contribution to the industry, AWRC would like to present an inaugural Dr. Jim Pollock's People's Choice Award for the most inspirational presentation. So just keep that in the back of your mind apart from the fact that everybody is all inspirational, it's really going to be very, very difficult, I think. So along that, we're here as representatives from all aspects of our wildlife and organisations, from the lonely person at home doing it by themselves up to great big government things in the industries. So the rebuilding the communities is really important to coming together to that. I recently met a very knowledgeable, I suppose, and busy person, and that came together as well. I know a couple of you have already seen him and met him, and he's written a book, but he's actually Dr. Matt Morgan, who is a human vet, intensive care vet, who's travelled a lot. He's got a young family, and he's written a book called One Medicine, and it's learning from animals how that they can treat diseases in intensive care people. So like, you know, how does an animal live deep down without any access to the sunlight in their intensive care situation? How does it respond to nerve repairs, etc.? It's quite an interesting book, but we can learn from the animals. We are animals ourselves, but we're just in a different form. So there's lots of things that we know. You've all got some special skills, you've all got some special knowledge, and coming here together allows us to do that. So behind the scenes, you know, it might seem, okay, you're at the forefront, but you've got to have a base of understanding everything that happens in your world, how you understand your knowledge. It's no good aiming for really good outcomes if you don't know what's at the base of it. Your problems are problems, always. They never go away. You just have to work out different ways to solve them. So because you're all individuals, you've also got a different voice. Now, I'm not talking about the voice, referendums, Johnny Farnham's voice, anything else. It's just your voice. And your voice is important to how you create your caring for yourself and for your wildlife and your interaction with others. So you might have a quiet voice, you might have a very loud voice, you might have, I'm not going to speak at all voice, or you're very outspoken. But when you think about a choir, you have so many different levels of voices, and they all come together to perform a beautiful piece of music or a beautiful song that we all enjoy. So that's part of our aim of conferences. You've all got a voice, but you're all coming together. We're all